Brother and sister, Jazakumullah khair for inviting me. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, "Man la yashkuru nasa la yashkuru Allah." The one who does not thank the people, he's not thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As an academic, I'm someone who's teaching as a university professor since about 20 years. As a teacher in general, 38 years. As a teacher in the masajid, plus a teacher at schools, plus in the university, 42 years. I do enjoy teaching, okay? But from my experience in traveling in 30 countries and teaching in 12 countries, I know that most of my lectures, I might be able to meet some people like your respected self just once in life. So therefore, I always plan my lectures as if it's the one and the only, and that's it. So I do my best to throw all the strategic, long-term information related to the topic. So I'm someone who believes in the idea of don't try to protect me, for example, or to take care of me while swimming, but teach me how to swim. Okay? So therefore, as an academic, and I respect the academia, my lecture, basically, even though you have a very specific title, which is Gender Interaction in Islam, اختلاط. I could do it in a very classical way, immediately. Permissible, not permissible. Why? Okay, yes, no, depending on what, and that's it. From fiqh point of view, from Islamic jurisprudence fiqh point of view, but this is not my way. I want to lay down the philosophical, intellectual basis for the topic in the first part of the topic. Then I will move to give you general principles to use it. We have the general intellectual basis. Then we have foundations of principles. Then we come to the topic easily. It will be, inshallah, bidhnillah, tackled. Bidhn Mawla Azza wa Jal. So the first part in the introduction, which I call it intellectual philosophical introduction. Even though the topic is gender interaction, yet as people of faith, I think our first point that we should start from is our reference point. Everyone in this dunya has his own or their own reference point. What is the reference point basically? When I take a decision, when I want to take a decision regarding something, when I want to form an attitude towards something, people, mainly anyone who's using the power of intellect, he has a reference point. For us as believers, our reference point is our faith. Basically, Quran, Sunnah, and the understanding of the ulama. We are not atheists. We are not agnostics. We are not secular liberals. So therefore, our reference point, basically, what Allah says, what Muhammad ﷺ says on behalf of Allah, and what the great ulama during the history said. This is our reference point. Then we come later to add whatever we need if we have a space to maneuver because of our reference point, depending on that. Before I tackle gender interaction, let me just share with you, this is, which I believe you know, but in the academia, sometimes you need to bring from this great, huge things what is related to the topic. Number one, the main primary reason for our existence is in this dunya is what? وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Indeed, I've not created jinn and the human being but to worship me. The first message, worship does not mean ritual worship just. This is simple part of ibadah. Worship in Arabic, ibadah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. عَبَدَ عَابِدُ يَعْبُدُ عِبَادَةً. When you go to the radicals or to the root verb of the word, basically, al-ibadah in Arabic, the definition in the lexicons is al-inqiyadu wal-khudu'u at-tammu duna adna shart. The full submission without any kind of preconditions. Anyone who's doing so, he is a abid. He's a worshipper, regardless what he is worshipping. That's why Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in the hadith, تعس عبد الدينار, تعس عبد الدرهم, تعس عبد الخميصة. He said, wow, to the person who's worshipping the dinar, or the dirham, or the dollar now. Definitely he's not talking about anyone who's putting a dollar and he said like this and he's, no. The meaning of ibadah is full submission, no restrictions. with this meaning, do we find worshippers for money or not? Definitely. Do we find worshippers for their tribal ideology or not? Do we find worshippers for their political parties or not? Do we find worshippers for their leaders or not? Yes, this is the ibadah. Full submission. So therefore, our primary reason for our existence, full obedience for Allah in every single aspect of our life, including what we eat, what we drink, our relations, what we wear, divorce, marriage, loyalty, disloyalty, action, reaction, acceptance, rejections, everything according to the will of Allah. Part of this great thing, the relation between the two genders. It's part of this great thing. It's part of the ibadah. How to handle this issue. What is permissible in this area and what is not and why. This is the first message. Second message. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was about to create Adam, we all know, alhamdulillah, because of the Quran, and Allah told us, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Behold, be aware that when your Lord spoke with the angels and told them that I will be creating, focus now, a successive authority, istikhlaf, an authority. They will have the power. I will enable them. I will guide them, and they will be successing, يخلف بعضهم بعض, each other. Okay? So the nature of this Khalifa, starting from Adam, they will be what? Successive, istikhlaf. Type. How this succession will be? Through the reproduction, والتزاوج. To let this happen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, and He built within us the need for each other between male and female, and the attraction. Emotionally, psychologically, we are two parts, we need each other. Part of it, the sexual attraction, part of it. It's much more bigger than that. So we're created in a way, Allah created وَأَنَّهُ خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى. He created us, male and female. They share some certain things, yes. Do they differ? Yes, definitely. That's why they have some specific characteristics. They need each other, they attracted each other, they support each other, and they have different, let's say, jobs or roles in their life, in Islamic perspective. Type. So now, some people might ask, especially in the Arab context, and I received this question many times. I say, Sheikh, is it me or Allah who created this attraction within me to the other gender? I said, that's Allah. I said, okay, why you do blame me because I love speaking with the sisters, or I love speaking with the brothers if the speaker is a sister? This is a philosophical doubt. Allah created within us that we are attracted by default. By default. We call it fitna. A man is in fitna regarding women, and women are in fitna. They are on big trial. Always they think about other gender by default. طيب, if that's the case, why we are blamed? That's love is haram and not haram. Why not to have friendship? Why not to go together? I said, wait. Who told you if Allah put this power, just use it whenever, whenever you would like to use it, regardless of restriction? Who said so? That's why I said this philosophical introduction. Now, for example, Allah created within us some certain faculties and needs and powers for certain rules to be achieved, such as, are we created in a way that we need food or not? Is food by nature a very strong desire or not? Can we live without food? Type. Do we eat anything at any time, anywhere? But food is highly needed. Why not to eat anything, anywhere, from any person? Why? Why not? Are you with me what I'm saying? There's a high need for food, but we don't eat anything. I'm speaking, I'm speaking from logical, human point of view, not from Islamic now. All humans, they don't eat anything. They look to the clean food. They do their best to have healthy food if they have let's say, the power to do it. They don't eat from any place. Why do we make the review on the Google before we go to a restaurant? Why? Seriously. One of the most important things, it's not just how delicious it is. Basic things is what? Clean or not clean. If you discover it's a dirty restaurant and you have the option, you are not forced to eat, are you going to this restaurant? So even though it's highly needed and the appetite kills you to eat, yet you don't eat anywhere from any person at any time. Type, do I need the food? Yes. I feel hungry now. Imagine if you feel hungry now. You are in the test, your final exam now. Are you allowed to eat? While you are writing your final exam, are you allowed? Even if you have the appetite, even if you have the drive, even if it kills you, no. There are special places and times for you to eat. True or false? This is a simple example. The same thing is applied for anything else, such as, do we need for rest? Do we need the recreation time? If we misuse it all the time, we are in rest. When will we do our jobs? Which means, طيب, do we need to drink liquids in general? Yes. So it's allowed for us to drink tens and hundreds and thousands of different beautiful things and, juice and whatever, besides the water. Exceptional case, alcohol, no. And by the way, even water. If you kept drinking water all the time, what will happen to your body? Toxicant. It kills you. Do you know? There is a special intoxication because of water. If you drank, I don't know, let's say, for example, 5 liters or 11 liters within a specific time. If you kept drinking, it will be toxicant and it kills you, literally kills you. Even the water. What is the message? No one has the right philosophically to say, Sheikh, as long as Allah is the one who created within us the sexual appetite and the need for the other gender, don't keep interfering in our business. Which means, keep us have our freedom. It's the will of Allah. Shut up your mouth, Sheikh. Wallahi, I meet some people, they think in this way. I'm just rephrase it on their behalf, okay? This is a case. I said, okay, if that's the case, keep eating anywhere, everywhere. Eat anything from the streets. Drink all the time. Do anything according to your desire anytime. You will be classified for the people of intellect as what? Crazy or idiots or stupid or silly. I'm not speaking from a religious point of view, speaking from logical human point of view. True or false? So therefore, I need to remove this possible doubt. I have this need. I need to talk. I need to have this kind of interaction. I can't live with it. I know, Habibi, I know. We have a system for this. We have restrictions as a civilized believers. So therefore, we remove this possible doubt. Let's move to next point now. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Let's go focus now. What makes the attraction happy? And by the way, it's part of what we call the muta'. Muta' al-halal, and it could be, Allah created us, we do seek pleasures. Now, enjoying a nice meal, is it a pleasure or not? After hunger, especially. Yes or no? But drinking hot or cold drink after being thirsty, does it bring pleasure to you or not, and happiness? Yes or no? Type, having a rest after a long time of work, does it bring happiness and pleasure or not? Yes. So in our life, the same thing, fulfilling your emotional and sexual appetite, the same thing. So, do we seek pleasure through it? Yes. Do we need it? Yes. Do we love it? Yes. But we put restrictions, or otherwise we will be destroying ourselves. This is the most important few quick messages in the philosophical intellectual introduction. Now, let me jump to the next phase now. It might be a surprise for some of you. So please focus now. I will say it in Arabic. By the way, how many of you understand Arabic? Can you raise up your hand? Okay, 50%. That's good. Okay, sometimes just to be honest with the genuine texts or the genuine statements as an original statement, I will quote the Arabic, then I will say it in English, okay? لا يوجد في الشريعة الإسلامية ولا في الإسلام شيء على الإطلاق اسمه الاختلاط حرام. There is no statement such as in Islam that gender interaction generally is haram or prohibited. It does not exist. You will not find this terminology in the fiqh. You will not find it. You will not find it. حكم الاختلاط حرام. No. You know why? Because it's a human necessity. The gender interaction, it's a human necessity. Therefore, it has different rulings. One of the biggest evidences in the Quran that the gender interaction is a necessity, حكم الحجاب. What? The existence of the compulsory act of worship as hijab for sisters is a proof and evidence that gender interaction is allowed. Or otherwise, why hijab is fard? Hijab is for who? Is it for fathers? For mothers? Seriously, hijab is a proof by itself that there is some certain cases, situations are allowed for gender interaction, or otherwise, hijab should not be revealed, and women should stay at home till they die, period. If, God forbid, it's completely prohibited. But why the hijab is there? Hijab is not fard for the sister to wear it. And by the way, and when I speak about hijab, I'm not talking just about the headscarf. I'm talking about the package of the hijab, which contains the jilbab and contains not putting the perfume and contains the way of talking and the way of walking, everything. So many of these things, they are not restricted within certain circles, such as what we call the maharim. Okay, that's what's prohibited for them to marry. But why the hijab? Which means there's some certain situation, it is allowed. This is what we'll be aware of, how to handle it when it is allowed and why it's allowed. How to classify it scientifically. طيب. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. Now, I will move to next step. The mandatory act of worship of the hijab is an evidence by itself that gender interaction is allowed. But when and how? Let's take the general principles that we can derive rulings from. Number one, this is not directly about gender interaction. This is the, let's say, the evidences that we derive the rules from it. Number one, as example, قول الله تعالى ولا تخضعن بالقول فيطمع الذي في قلبه مرض. Allah is directing the wives of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and all females, especially for the females, not for the males now, says, do not be soft in speech, lest he in whose heart is disease should covet. Be careful. Don't use this kind of soft language when you interact with the external male figure outside you, which means you might be allowed. We will tell you when and how, but be careful. One of the restrictions when interacting, no soft language. طبعا المشكلة, you know, the difference between Arabic and English. If I'm speaking in Arabic, I will find 10 alternatives to explain it. ساعدوني بالترجمة. الغنج شو يعني بالإنجليزي؟ الغنج والدلع والمياصة. Now seriously, please help me in translation. غنج دلع مياصة. If you understand what I'm saying. By the way, who understood me? غنج ودلع ومياصة. Yes? Spoil. طيب, I will use all your terminology. Spoil, soft, what else? Help me, those who are born here. And any translation? Huh? سامع. Flirtatious. Flirtatious. Give me the spelling. I F L I R E T. مش غزل, لا 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 لا. Anyway, now I will give you an example, but in Arabic. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it gives you, I will give you some of the rulings when the interaction is needed. One, Allah says, وَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ. Don't use this lineage attitude, okay? In Arabic, for example, I don't know how to say it in English, but at least I have some examples in my own language. For example, now, in Arabic, a female can approach a brother for whatever reason. Buying, selling, speaking, advocate. السلام عليكم, ممكن كذا وكذا, وممكن مرحبا, كيفك, Amjad. You know these reactions? You know, you laughed. You know why? Thank you. Because you know, what does it mean? Why مرحبا? ليش مرحبا هاي الراء هاي ليش? Why we make it very soft? This is الخضوع بالقول. It depends on your accent. I'm not expert on all accent, but every accent has its own way how to make it. It's you know, this is ولا تخضعنا بالقول as an indication, one of the possible rulings. Second one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ولا يضربن بأرجلهن ليعلم ما يخفين من زينتهن. When the interaction is needed, regardless why, I will explain now when it is allowed. Allah says, one of the rulings, and let them not stamp their feet to make known what they conceal of their adornments, referring to the anklets. You know, at that time, you know the anklets, khilkhal? Brothers, do you know what's a khilkhal? At that time, it was one of the most well-known ways of beautiful things that women, like, you know, necklaces, like the breast, they to have the anklets. So the anklets used to have some certain, you know, when they walk, you know, when she's approaching the area, everyone will be aware that Mrs., Ms., Miss XYZ is coming because of the khilkhal. So Allah gave an indication. We will make analogy, qiyas now, okay? ولا يضربن بأرجلهن ليعلم ما يخفين من زينتهن. I remember one of my students, female student in Sharia, she was wearing the hijab, she was wearing even the niqab. She was using سوارة, شو يعني بالإنجليزي سوارة? Bracelet, okay? I think she was using maybe 18 here, gold. Okay, while I was teaching, whenever she does that, حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل. حجة, we want to teach. Every time she moves her hand, wallahi, maybe 21. What is the message? For God's sake, what is the message? We are not a party, we are Kulit Sharia. But this is an example. I'm not just one incident in 20 years, by the way. But just to give the example, what does it mean in Quran? وَلَا يَضْرِبْنَ بِأَرْجُلِهِنَّ. One of the possible application of this, the high heels, not all of them, but some of them, wallahi billahi tallahi. I know in Jordan, some women I knew from my relatives, they go specially for the shoe makers, they put an iron nail, wallahi, iron nail, they put it under the high heels. When they walk, it will be like, I'm coming. Aha. It's one of the possible, the idea. Allah is saying, don't let any possible interaction be used in a way to show your beauty. Because the need for the interaction could be medical, could be educational, could be social, acceptable. It's not a place of what? Seducing. So be careful. ولا يضربن بأرجلهن ولا تخضعن بالقول. But what else? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن. O Prophet, tell your wives, your daughters, and the women of the believers to bring down over themselves part of their outer garments. Jilbab, basically in Arabic, is the outer piece of cloth which we wear it on the top of our clothes. Okay? Now, the type, when we will have the interaction, we're not allowed just to have it wearing anything, because it's well even known for you. قوله تعالى وَلْيَضْرِبْنَ بِخُمُرِهِنَّ عَلَى جُيُوبِهِنَّ, which is part of when we discuss the hijab. على جيوبهن ولا يبدين زينتهن إلا ما ظهر منها. Let them draw their veils over their chests and not reveal their adornment except what naturally appears. What naturally appears, one of the understanding for this, what you cannot avoid, for example, if some men think that the beauty in the woman is because she's, for example, slim or tall or short, no one can hide this. You can't hide it. Even if you wear 10 niqabs, if you are slim, you will be shown that you are slim, you are not fat, or the opposite. If you are tall, you can't hide this aspect of beauty. You can't. إلا ما ظهر منها. And, a good number of scholars about the face and, the hands. But the idea, it is allowed. Now, the point. Look now, we spoke about the way of talking. Then the way of walking. Then what to put on our bodies. Then what to show from our faces. Then we go to another. I'm giving you examples. I'm not covering everything in Islam. I'm just examples how to draw the rulings before we come to the, okay, are we allowed to have a project together? Yes or no? We are working in the engineer. We are forced by the teacher that this is a group and we will keep contacting with each other through the internet. Can we send messages to each other late at night? Yes, no. Before I discuss all of these things, I need to put the foundations because I will be wasting my time if I started there without putting these foundations. Another example. For example, Prophet Muhammad said, أيما امرأة تعطرت فخرجت ليشم ريحها فهي زانية. He says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, قال, any woman who applies perfume and goes out so that its scent is perceived by others is a fornicator. She's doing an act of fornication, metaphorically, which means in the Arabic language, she's doing a great sin as if it's an act of fornication, using the perfume. Ooh, wow. Type. Now, in light of such, let's say, indications in Islam, when as males and females can interact, my final phase before I conclude the whole idea and start discussing or receiving your questions is the following. I put it the last one now. In the Islamic usul fiqh, the principles of Islamic jurisprudence, we have something called daruriyat, hajiyat, tahsiniyat, or kamaliyat. This is very important to know. The great scholars, starting from Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, when they looked at, the evidences, the ayat, the hadith, the technical, practical application, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for 23 years, the great Sahaba, they concluded in ilm usul al-fiqh, the principles of Islamic jurisprudence, something called that our actions, when we do something, to be allowed to do or not to do, it depends on where does this need or action comes under what area. Is it the area of daruriyat? Daruriyat can be translated as necessities. Very important high necessities. Hajiyat, needs. Less than the necessities. We do need them, but less. I will give examples now. Last one, luxurious. The additional things that even if we lose, it's not a big deal. We enjoy it, we love them, but not a need or a necessity. Necessity, such as need for the medication, medical treatment, emergency, hospital, doctors, giving birth. It's high need. It could cause losing your life. So it's what? A necessity. Food. Food-occupancy relation. Imagine that I do not have anyone to take care of me, and I am a female. Do I have the right to buy food to eat? Maybe you say, Sheikh, what kind of this question? No, because some people, they say it. Is she allowed to go outside? Ya habibi, طبعا she allowed to go outside. Why? Because it's a necessity. Why? Where is the necessity? Having food. But what if someone else is taking care of this? We come to the details, but the idea, need for the food and the drink, need for the medication, it's necessities, okay? Generally. Type needs, education, which is our discussion now. If you did not have education, for example, you will not die, but you will lose a lot. If you don't have medication, you might lose your life. You can't live. So this is higher than this. Education. Silat al-Rahim. Keeping the ties with the relatives, visiting them, taking care of them, okay? Education, using the public transportation is a need. I don't have a car. I can't afford buying a car. So going to the public transportation, is it an act of gender interaction or not? Using Uber, taxi, university, school, selling, buying, speaking with the customers. All of these are interactions between two genders. We are not discussing the university. It's much more bigger. It's a human phenomena. Yes, no, cannot decide. Third part is what we call al-kamaliyat. Luxurious. Something called luxurious. Like, for example, parties. If I do not dance, what will happen to me? Seriously, I'm asking. If 2 years passed, I was not invited to a mixed party and I did not dance. What I'm gonna lose? To what degree I might die? Seriously, I'm asking. If I don't eat, how can I live? Answer. If I don't eat, how can I live? I can't live. I will die. If I don't go to the university, can I live? Yes, but with a lot of troubles. If I don't dance in a mixed party, can I live? Yes, because there is a big difference in interaction between a man and a man in the hospital or in the university or in the marriage, let's say, contract or كتب كتاب حفلة of my cousin. She will be very, very sad if I don't. Okay, it's مختلطة, Sheikh, but I need fatwa. I need fatwa because I lose my mind. She's my cousin. She's my friend. Haram, حبيبتي. It's haram. But what's the difference? It's not a necessity. So therefore, it has the hukum of what? Prohibited. Because it is not a need that you can break this hukum for it. Even with the, by the way, I'm not going to the details. I'm not discussing, even in medication, we have a lot of restrictions. It is allowed with restriction as well. غض البصر, don't touch any part of the body, you don't need it. If you are a doctor, be careful, especially with a very sensitive part of the body, blah, 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 you have a lot of details. It's not just خلاص open, okay, medication is allowed, yalla. No, hey, wait. You have a lot of restriction. If you are a male, you have to count to 10. If you can do through it, the nurses, females, to help you to reduce the possible way of touching or seeing part of the body of the female, whether she's a Muslim or non-Muslim, it's prohibited for you as a male doctor. The interaction is highly needed, but with restrictions as well. It's not just open. And you have to educate even the patient herself. Sister, please, there is no need to uncover this part. I need just this part just to examine this. Please cover the rest of your body. You educate her because you don't know sometimes. It's haram. Haram more than what you know is highly needed. So, type. In light of this, I will have the final simple concepts. Then we will conclude the main rules. We come to the daily details. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. The concept of awrah. When I say the word awrah, Arabs, who believes that he or she understood what I'm talking about with the general philosophical meaning of the word? When I say al-awrah in Islam, What do you think I'm talking about? Yes, تفضل. جزاك الله خير. طيب, thank you very much. Anything else? Anyone would like to add? تفضل. To add what he said. Okay, good. This is, yes, an extra, which is true. Both you are correct. You are covering different parts of the meaning. Yes. What else? Huh? Could be, yes. Yeah. Now, you are touching, you are expanding the area. By the way, you need to know the following to be proud of your Islam. The concept of awra is exclusively Islamic. It does not exist in any other culture or religion. It's a huge, beautiful general meaning. Awra, it's a terminology that covers many areas of our life which is not allowed for a certain people in a certain time to look at them. In the top of sincerity, the private parts. It's called in Arabic, Islamic terminology, awra mughallada. The very private sexual parts of male and female. It's called awra mughallada. This awra is not allowed to anyone to see it when you are adults except for husband and wife, period. Restricted, husband and wife, period. طيب, more. Now we have a less serious part of awra. Other parts of the body. Now the maharim. Mahram. It's Islamic terminology. What is the mahram? The mahram is a terminology means the person which is completely prohibited for the female to marry forever till the end of their life, which is like the father, the son, the brother, paternal uncle, maternal uncle, paternal grandfather, maternal grandfather. All of those are called maharim, which is prohibited completely, ultimately, to marry them. Now, for them, they are allowed to see the female without the hijab, but with restrictions. Still, she's allowed to uncover this area, from this area, but not everything. Still, so for those, more than that, it's awra. طيب. Now going outside, for men and women, they have a awra. For the men, the full body except the face and the hands, it's awra. Everything else is awra for anyone in the Islamic terminology called ajnabi. Ajnabi, it's an Islamic terminology, means anyone who is allowed to marry from, which is apart from the maharim, every single adult on planet Earth. From Muslims, طبعا, because non-Muslim is not allowed. Yes? So this is a terminology type. What else? My house is awra for anyone outside. My bedroom is awra for my kids, which is a private time area and area that is not allowed till, according to the Quran. Yes, استأذن. Kids should be taught Islamically not to get into the bedroom of their parents except after. Can I come in? It's awra. Allah called it ثلاث عورات. It's not me. Allah called it in the Quran. ثلاث عورات. He called it the three عورات, which means a very serious private time and area that it's not allowed to anyone to look at it. I'm giving you the philosophy of the awra now. The whole house of the awra. My bedroom is awra for some certain people. Some certain part of the house, it's awra. My son-in-law. My daughter is his wife, but her sisters are not. So he's not allowed just to walk anywhere without giving attention that he's coming, because it's awra. And you know, this concept, which is, if we may put it in a simple way, one of the most accurate, high civilized privacy preservance. Because of this, we have the least minimum of destruction of the human sexual destruction. Yes. Wallahi, let me share this horrible number. It's very old. You know, America is the king and the queen of statistics. I don't know how they identify themselves, king or queen, or they have a third gender. Just to respect how they identify themselves. Okay, I don't know. But they are the king or the queen of statistics. I remember giving a lecture. I was in need for a certain statistic about 15 years ago. 32% of rape cases in the United States, they are done by relative from the first degree, on top of them fathers. What? 3 out of every 10, they are raped by very close relatives, such as the uncle or the brother or the father. On top of the close relatives, the father in America 15 years ago. Try to analyze. What do you think one of the main reasons? There is no concept of awrat. Completely open. Completely open. Even the non-practicing Muslim in our cultures, even the non-practicing Muslim, from the very, very beginning, they tell the boy and be careful. Don't change your clothes in front of anyone. Go inside your room. Go to the bath. Go to the washroom. Why? To protect your aura. Aura is related to what? Aura related to nudity. Nudity is related to what? To the sexual appetite. What is the main reason why males and females, they are attracting? The sexual appetite. Why hijab is there? One of the great things, subhanAllah, and I will finish now the full idea, then I will start interacting with you with your questions. To sum up the area, I remember myself, I was doing my PhD about 25 years ago in the UK. At that time, 1997, hardly we started having Windows 97 and internet. So nothing of what you know now we used to have it back then. Nothing. يعني, والله, I explained to you, I used to have, what do you call it, the floppy, yes. Floppy disks, you know the size of that I used to type my PhD, it was 1.5 mega. 1.5 mega. You can't put an image in it now. We used to use it to put half a PhD to write that. Anyway, it was very, very naive things. So no internet, no YouTube, nothing at all. I remember when I reached there, I heard about one of the lawyers, white British, Anglo-Saxon white British, very famous, used to be a very well-known lawyer in the UK. She became a Muslim. She converted to Islam. She made an earthquake in the UK at that time. Why earthquake? Many people, they convert to Islam. No. Racists, Anglo-Saxon people, for them, they used to call us, by the way, colored people, okay? Anyone who's not a white Anglo-Saxon British, he is what? Colored. So we are all colored, al-mulawwanun. So if a colored one became a Muslim, who cares? Racism. But if a white Anglo-Saxon British, oh, it's an earthquake. From their point of view. And she was very famous in the media, and she was very rich and very well known as a lawyer. Subhanallah. Her name is Sarah. I know Sarah. At that time, because we did not have the social media, I don't realize her face. I did not have a TV. I was not watching TV, but I heard that she's defending Muslims in the media, and she's great in speaking about Islam. Subhanallah. Once, I was driving the car in Birmingham City. Just coincidentally, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I opened, it was a special interview by a British, the BBC, with the sister Sarah. I said, subhanallah, at least I will listen to her. I need just to hear how she thinks, because I heard a lot about her, but I never heard directly from her. I never seen her. I say now, Sarah, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, I start focusing now. Now, the presenter, he was so wicked, very British. Okay? Look what he said. He said, Sarah, okay, we will not interfere in your decision in what pertains to your faith, you have the right to change your faith. So I will not discuss that, but can you tell us why did you decide to wear the hijab? This is how he said it. He was dying because of the hijab. Big message, big indication. It's an earthquake for them. Message of modesty. It fights, it kills a lot of satanic, long process of working. Hijab is not just a piece of cloth. She's very influential on millions of people. Why did you, as if he's telling us, the spirit of his discussion was as if he's telling her, look, mashallah, you are very beautiful. You are white, blonde hair, colored eyes. I mean, okay, be a Muslim, no problem. But don't destroy this beauty. Enjoy your life, you idiots. As if he's telling her this. So it was at that specific time, I remember this happened, I think 99 or 2000. It was my second or third year there. I stayed 6 years. At that time, I started teaching as a preacher in the masjid 1985. So 99, it was my, and I have just finished my master's degree, and I used to be a teacher for Islamic education. At that time, I was teaching Islam for 10 years. I thought I have a very influential, good, nice answers when someone asked me about why hijab is obligatory on women. But at the end, subhanAllah, I'm a man. The first time I'm listening to a revert who enjoyed every possible kind of pleasure you could ever imagine. Look what she said. Wallahi, she, at that time, I was shocked positively with her answer to a degree I forgot that I was driving. Do you know what I did? I forgot that I'm driving. I was about to hit the roundabout with my car completely, wallahi. Just Allah saved me the last second. I just forgot. I was looking, you know, when you admire an answer, oh wow, hey, you see, Allah just saved me. Look how she answered. She said, the question was, why did you decide to wear the hijab? She said, actually, I want to tell everyone in the street that I'm not a sexual object. I now focus on this. I want everyone in the street, when he speaks with me, when he deals with me, I want him to deal with me according to my humanity and personality, not according to my body. Wow. Which means my value is not how short my skirt is. You know what I mean? Females on earth know what I mean. What is your value? Here and here, or here, or here? Yes? Islamically, here and here. Non-Islamically, everywhere else. This is a big difference. This is the meaning of iffa and modesty. Chastity. So when we collect all of these meanings, the meaning of, and I forget another concept, because I'm just bringing concept. I hope this is the final one. The concept of khalwa. Arabs who realized what I will be talking about. What is khalwa as an Islamic terminology? Yes, sister. Yes. But okay, this is the direct translation, which could be translated in Arabic, uzla. Just isolation, which is not exactly. But it is the only alternative in the dictionary, by the way, which is true. But as a terminology, it's much more bigger than that. Type. Khalwa is Islamic terminology, means it is haram for you as a male Muslim, as a female Muslim, to sit in, I will give you definition in Arabic. قال أن يجلس رجل وامرأة أجنبيان في مكان يأمنان من أن يطلع عليهما فيه أحد. طبعا in another definition قال أو أن يجلسا في مكان فيه ريبة. Which means in Islam, if someone is sitting in a place with a female where they have full secured that no one can interfere or see them, they are committing haram even if their niyyah was like Aisha and Abu Bakr. I repeat, has nothing to do with the intention. It has to do with the action. Yani, God forbid, if I'm sitting here and there is just one door for this room, which is this one. If I'm a professor in the university and the sister came here to ask me a question, as long as this door could be open at any time, this is not khalwa. If I told her, close the door, once she did tick, both of us are committing haram. Good the khalwa? Which means I have a secured environment that no one can come without my permission. So this is called khalwa. Why Islam? Islam, one of the greatest characteristics of Islam, it's a preventive system before it becomes curative system. We don't wait for the disaster to happen, then we start what? Solving. That's why alcohol is prohibited. We don't wait for millions to die because of the alcohol. We don't wait millions to hit their wives because they are drunk. We don't wait, then okay, how to solve it? No. Alcohol is prohibited. We don't allow promiscuity. You know this terminology, promiscuity? Have you heard this classical Christian terminology? Promiscuity means any sexual relation outside marriage. Completely prohibited. We don't wait till disaster happens, illegitimate children, mistrusts, honor killing, jealous killing, all of these things. No. We put this. So, we need to understand the concept of khalwa, the concept of awra, the concept of ولا يضربنا بأرجلهن, the concept of ولا تخضعنا بالقول, the concept of perfume, the concept of walking, talking, attitude. Okay? Isolation. All of this in light of daruriyat, necessities, in light of hajiyat, such as education, in light of kamaliyat, the luxurious things. In light of this, I might have already covered maybe 50% of your questions. Now, the last thing I might be add that all of this is controlled completely with intention. Intention. What is allowed, not allowed. Why did you do this? I don't know. Okay? I don't know, but you know. Is it permissible? I'm not asked that I go and take permission for everyone what to do, what to do. Allah knows sometimes, okay? Because sometimes we have a very, very complicated, situations. So what works then, إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل, the greatest hadith in Islam, wallahi. يعني after believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Imam al-Bukhari radiyallahu anhu, he was guided by Allah when he decided to let his first hadith in his sahih is إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. Indeed, actions are only considered by intentions. If intentions are there, actions will be considered. If intention is not there, there's no أصلا consideration. طيب. The intention is there. قال وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. And everyone will be held accountable according to his niyyah, to his intention. If he used to have a good niyyah, he will be rewarded. Bad niyyah. Like one of the funny things, just a few days ago, I was in UTM giving a special lecture for the students of medicine about the ethics of those who work in the medical area. So I told them about something that I know in my university back in the faculty of pharmacology. In Jordan University, the percentage of females is about 94 to 96% in pharmacology, which means if you have a lecture with 104 brothers, 96 sisters. I was told by one of my students, he said, I know some of my colleagues, they registered in the pharmacology to enjoy 4 years of speaking with sisters, to enjoy having what? Valid, legislative, undercover, acceptable, socially, all the time enjoying having sisters speak with them, all the time. I mean, this is part of my study. Don't blame me. What about your intention, Haji? Which means he decided to wage a war against Allah and his niyyah from year 1 for 5 years. Wow. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Type, one of the very practical technical questions. MSA. We need to deal with each other. Okay, I know. طيب, can we deal? Yes, طبعا you can. In light of all of these restrictions, okay? One of the golden rules, what is allowed, for example, now one of the biggest questions is the social media. We have a special group, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever. I said, what is allowed, what is allowed? Here comes what we call in Islamic jurisprudence, al-urf, al-a'raf al-Islamiyya. What is widely acceptable? What is the criteria, the standard to know the acceptable? Apply the other golden rule. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. No one will achieve the highest level of iman till he loves to others what he loves to himself. يعني, for example, Sheikh, can I send a message to a sister in the group? Before I answer you, what is the need of the message? طيب, the message will be sent on the group or private? طيب, is it valid sometimes private? Yes. Who decides this? You. I will not interfere. طيب, how to decide it? طيب, is it possible make analogy on the reality on the ground? Now imagine that we have 10 sisters from the MSA, 10 brothers. They have a big project. They have their annual conference to talk about Islam for the students of 10,000 this nice university. Good. طيب, they will interact. They distribute the duties. Yes or no? Definitely. So generally, someone will speak. طيب, let's imagine now, while they are speaking, it happened that one of the sisters, she's facing a serious problem in the parking lot with one of the security guards. And he's tough with her. They did not want to let it become a very big problem. And they know one of the brothers, he is the best how to solve it very quickly. So there is need for privacy now. No one knows about except one of the sisters. We don't know why. She came, for example, to brother X Muhammad. Can I speak with you, sis? Okay, thank you. He just disappeared. Is this haram? No. Is this khalwa? No. Is there a need? Yes. Do we know it? No. Who told you that you have to know it? It's not your business. طيب, what is the criteria? Your niyyah. طيب, make analogy on the social media. General rule, urf, deal in the groups. We need, you need, we think, you think. طب, could it be, and there is a need for a private message? Yes. Perfect. طب, okay, why? You decide, is there a need or a necessity? But how can I know? Okay, I will give you criteria. If your sister in the MSA in another university, she received a message 12 a.m. from someone in the MSA privately. And the message says, hi, just I wanted to make sure that you are okay. What is your reaction? You will say, MashaAllah, BarakAllahu Feekum, صح? MashaAllah, may Allah accept your deeds. Alhamdulillah, that we have Sahaba. This is what you will do. You will become mad. So you know what to say, when to say it, and why. Don't do it. There is a serious need. Yes. What if you discovered, imagine that one of the sisters, she's in charge of the all financial affairs of the whole MSA. She is in charge of finance. We discovered a disaster. We lost part of the money. We don't want everyone to panic. We need to solve it immediately. Next day, the guest is coming and we need to pay the ticket. There is no need to let everyone panic. Is it a justifiable reason? Yes. On the private? Yes. What is your intention? Solve a problem. Why not on the public? Because we will panic, we will destroy everything. It will be spread. We will have a big problem with the university. Keep it private. Tak, 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 tak. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very sorry for this time. We lost part of the money. Someone stole the money. Please, can you solve it? Yes. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. That's it. خلاص. انتهى الموضوع. Make analogy. You have this and that, this and that, this and that. I was asked once by the students of engineering in my university back there, Jeddah. Sorry, the students, to the best of my knowledge, that they always need to work in workshops and groups, they are the engineering. all the time. Most of the courses, they are forced and they are randomly chosen, which means, say, for example, سعاد عبلة Sarah with Muhammad وأحمد وعباس. All you are, خلاص, shut up your mouth. You are together. That's it. It happens. And they keep asking me, what shall I do? What shall I do? What shall I do? I can't change the system. Okay, okay. I mean, apply, do your best, especially when the brothers come. Brothers who want to practice Islam, they feel very embarrassed. I said, okay, Ya Ammi, purify your niyyah. You need to use, okay, if there is a necessity to sit together to discuss, after you finish it, why you are sitting there? Why you are sitting next to them? Why you are bringing tea to them? Why you are asking about her health and you're bringing Panadol or Tylenol with you, Mshan Allah? Seriously? Here comes what is my intention and how easy I'm making benefit, what could be superficially justifiable, but it's not. By the way, the idea is not technical. It very, I mean, it's not just black and white thing, by the way. It's not a black and white. Wallahi, it's sophisticated. You need the name. It's because, as I told you, that's why I start from the very beginning. What was the first statement? There is nothing in Islam called al-ikhtilat haram. It does not exist because it's impossible. It's impossible. By the way, my talking with you is ikhtilat now. Your existence in this area is one of the gender interaction. How do you do it? Jazakumullah khair. You have a special entrance. Are you making jokes together now? No. Full respect with the hijab, Jazakumullah khair. Even if one of the sisters, for whatever reason, she wants to laugh, she does like this. She keeps it, you know, even maybe she will hurt herself, but she will not say ha 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 like this. You will not. Why? Because it's part of the ethical standards. Why? Wallahi, maybe you are not aware of it. It's part. So can we? Yes. How? I give you the rules. Starting from ضروريات حاجيات تحسينيات in light of ولا تخضعنا ولا يضربنا. Okay? And all of this, put it all together and always the niyyah. Need? Yes. What's my intention? Have I fulfilled my need or not? And Allah knows it's part of my job or not. Am I making benefits? I'm committing a sin, but I'm fully covered. Okay, but you are not covered with Allah. I believe at least what was in my mind, I conveyed it. If I did not answer some of your questions, you can answer questions now. Jazakumullah khair. I finished. No questions? Hasbi Allah alayk ya Sheikh. Hasbun Allah alayk. I mean, you just came with a lot of troubles to us. Now you restricted our life. So please feel free to ask. Jazakumullah khair. If you have questions. Yes, brother. Yeah. A Muslim sister? No, it's the big difference. Big difference. Muslim or non-Muslim? Non-Muslim. Okay. Now, it has another ruling, brother. I need to take in consideration the fact that we are living in a non-Muslim country. The majority around us, they are non-Muslims. So, the general idea, by the way, it's not a matter of faith. It's not a matter of kufr and iman. It's one of the highly appreciated rulings, okay, that's highly recommended in Islam, that the physical touch between any male and a female apart from the maharim should not be done. Type. In light of the circumstances, if it is widely known that you are a Muslim, and to the best of my knowledge, your knowledge, if you did not shake the hand, there is no time to fix the possible destruction because it's very quick, no time, she will disappear, it happened, you can't explain for whatever reason, you need to do ijtihad. Ijtihad in 1 second. You know ijtihad? To put the highest effort. If I did not do it, am I gonna cause harm to Islam and Muslims or not? It happens sometimes. You're on a conference, you're on the train, you helped someone, oh, thank you very much, you saved me, thank you. And trains, they are about to open, she will go, and thank you, I did not know that you are Muslim, so kind, thank you, I'm going. Okay, maybe do it. But you are sitting in a place, oh, thank you, I like your work, your words, you said something very nice, and I really appreciate, and thank you. I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry. Oh, really? I did not know. Okay. Do you mind if I explain to you why? Oh, no, please go. Okay. Out of respect in my religion, we consider the woman like a jewel. We are not allowed to touch the precious jewel. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's it. But by the way, why I said this to you? Because shaking hands, it's not a matter of kufr and iman, and we have different opinions in that. If it is completely agreed upon, like zina or al-khamar, I don't care whether they felt bad or wrong. But it has some kind of different opinions and negotiations within Islamic fiqh. So generally, don't. The exception, do it with the purification for the sake of Allah. Just. I am the one who's saying that. Wallahi, I can count since I started not shaking hands since 42 years. When I started practicing Islam at the age of 15, 16. 42 years. I can count 5 or 7 cases in 42 years that I did shake hands for justifications. Yeah, especially for non-Muslims. طبعا if a Muslim شفيق يا راجل شفيق والله ها الطق راسها بالحيط. I don't know how to translate it والله. A Muslim will do this with me. How to translate الطق راسها بالحيط? Who can translate it? Well, I can't. It's you know, the connotation. It's very Jordanian. Okay. Yes. What is? Oh, no, I can't tell you one just 7 cases. Some of them very serious and very private. I can't. But one of them I can tell you just an example. I was traveling from Dallas to Amman, to Jordan. I lived 1 year in Texas, Dallas, about 13 years ago. So, you know, it's 14, I think 12 hours to Frankfurt or something in Germany. I think Frankfurt. From Dallas to Frankfurt, 12 hours, then 4 hours to Amman. So I was in the aisle, just 2 seats, 2, 4, 2. So I was in the aisle. It happened that was a white American lady next to me. So 12 hours, can you imagine? Sitting like this. So every time she wants to go to the washroom or kada, you know, she felt that she bothered me a lot. So she kept saying, I'm very sorry, sorry, sorry. Then I said, no, nothing. You know, bit by bit, I said, let me make da'wah. So we started discussing. Then I discovered that she is a high-ranked officer in the Marines. She's an American soldier. She was going to her base in Germany to finish her divorce papers with her husband, who's an officer in the American Marines Army as well. And she has a daughter, I think 9 years, something like that. And she was desperate in a very, very low emotional status. Her life is completely destroyed. Part of my specialty in my life, by the way, I don't know if you know what I'm specialized in. I have my PhD in comparative religions and Christian-Muslim relations, okay? So I teach faith, religions, and in parallel, since 40 years, I'm doing marriage counseling. I'm trying to solve special marriage disputes. So when she said that, I said, okay. I started talking about how we Muslims look to the family in a wise way. How do we treat our wives, depending on what? You know, because she was asking, answering, you know, highlighting, replying, responding, 12 hours. So I spoke a lot, and my intention was, subhanAllah, for the sake of Allah. She was, you know, I read in her eyes, wallahi, maybe 90%, she wanted just to say, La ilaha, I wish if I'm Muslim. So I did my best in over. So subhanallah, we came to the connection, because in Frankfurt, she will go to Bonn, or I don't know, and I will go to Amman. So she never shake hands with me. We were just sitting 12 hours together. She felt the attitude of gratitude. When we came exactly to the point she wants to go right, I will go left in my connection. Just I will leave her. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. She did like this. Of just 1 second, she's going and I'm going there. And I'm 12 hours talking about Islam. How beautiful Islam is, the family. Okay, woman in Islam. And something she's just leaving. I have 1 second. I did shake hand. Because I will destroy the 12 hours of explanation. I have no time because she did not, she surprised me with that. Exactly at the time of we will leave each other. In such case, I did an ijtihad in 1 second, say, Ya Rab, for your sake. It's part of the da'wah. I did shake hand. Something like this. Mostly happened in conferences, traveling, sometimes, and some very private things with queens in some countries for the sake of the kids. It happened. But I took it for the sake of Allah. I had the full power to say no. But I did what we call in Islamic jurisprudence al-maslaha, the great benefit for the sake of Islam itself. Who is the decision, who will take the decision in this context? I and my intention. No one can interfere in that. Allah knows what happened. Wallahu alam. Wallahu alam. Yes. Do we have online with us? Wallah?
Brother is asking, what is the ideal setup of a family gathering with cousins and in-laws?
شوف yeah. Family gathering. Wallah, to be honest with you, cultural influence interfere in this. The general rules in Islam, by the way, you can't find in Islam an absolute ultimate prohibition for any type of gathering. Be careful. You can't. Or otherwise, you're sitting here in this place is haram. By the way, this is a form of gathering. So sometimes, as long as the opinion that I adapt, I will not put a lot of restriction as long as they are wearing the hijab, okay? Welcoming each other. There is nothing, something private, no touching, no shaking hands, no perfumes, no makeup. All of them, they are restricted, but just they say salam alaikum or something like that. Every group sitting together, the family, and sometimes you have restrictions. Houses are small, okay? Sometimes you don't have an extra guest room. Not everyone is rich and having 5 rooms, put every 5 girls here and 5, you can't. Sometimes, especially generally speaking, Arabs and Pakistanis, they have a very extended families. The average of us is 5 and 7 and 8 and 9. So when 2 brothers who are married with their sister who is married, they come to find, maybe you will find 25 in the house now. It's not easy to do it in a very restricted way. Here, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. It's better to separate. But what is the level? I think as long as we do our best not to have any private, talks. We are not laughing in a way which is not allowed Islamically. We don't use the perfume. No close physical touch, okay? Which is the normal cultural acceptance. I think it's okay. Wallahu alam. But this is, it's not a black and white issue. You need a lot of details, and every case, you need to give like a fatwa with every case. It's not a general, because cultures are different. And by the way, cultural background, now, for example, if you compare between the Egyptian culture and Syrian culture, there's a huge difference in terms of the gender interaction. Now, Egyptian culture in general, much more easier in that. Syrian culture is much more restricted. I can't come and use the mentality of the culture of the Syrians or Palestinians and apply it completely on the Egyptians. It's nearly impossible. Impossible. Because the difference between them, wallahi, is huge. You need to consider. So why I'm saying that? Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, he changed some of his fiqh ahkam. He was living in Iraq. When he came to Egypt, and when you study fiqh Shafi'i, there is something called fil qadim, fil jadid. Fil qadim, fil jadid. His old opinion in Iraq and his new opinion in Egypt. So sometimes you need to take the cultural considerations. Wallahu alam. Anyway. Sisters, you have questions? Brothers, خلصتوا؟ خلاص؟ sorry. Yes, تفضلي. Can you speak louder? More than one, خلاص, the case is completely else. We are talking about just 2 individuals. No, no, children not. We are talking about adults. You mean they have someone or to the best of my knowledge, it's okay because it breaks the let's say the how you say the restriction, which means it's okay. Yes, as long as they call it the child is mumayyiz. Mumayyiz, which means he has the ability to realize what's happening. He's not an adult, but he realizes what's happening. If this is the case, it's yes. Yeah. And by the way, this is part of what we use when we allow what we call al-ru'ya shar'iyya. When you know, al-khitbah in Islam, basically sisters, because of modesty and chastity, they are highly honored in their houses. Basically Islamic, you know, the man is the one who's searching. So we have something called ru'ya shar'iyya. They heard about ex-sister, she's mashallah nice. So when he comes, they are allowed to sit alone in the guest room, but for either with one of the young sisters or young brothers, or even if they are alone in the guest room, no problem, because basically, what was the concept? They are not in a locked area, which is not khalwa. So either or, it's yes, permissible. Wallahu alam. Yes. Can you speak louder? Yeah.
If you can repeat it so the people online can hear.
Okay.
Is there any such thing as having friends of the opposite gender in Islam? And how would you advise someone who does it? And if you currently do, how do you go about taking the best Islam? So if you already have friends, what do you do with?
So, and to the best of my knowledge, there is nothing such as boyfriend or girlfriend in Islam. Zero. Okay? There is no friendship at all, because the concept of friendship, you have a special relation. You know, once friendship is mentioned, when I say, basically, the word friend, what does it mean? The connotation of the word. One of the closest to you. صح? The one whom you say your secrets. The man who you remember, you would like to sit with, okay? To enjoy time with. Habibi, this is just for husband and wives. As long as two genders are mentioned, are considered. What do we have? Respect, yes. We have interaction with limitations. That's why all of the relationship. Friendship means special time. Friendship means special feelings. So I completely can't find a room for anything has to do with the friendship in Islam. But what if I already have? You need to change, to fix, to reduce, to withdraw, simply. Simply, it's wrong. I mean, let's take a lesson from the brothers who are reverts or converts. They are living in a status where I have a lot of, you see, connections. They need to change. Subhanallah, it's not easy. So they start from this file, that file. It's wrong. No, it's not allowed. There's no friendship in Islam between males and females. High respect, high need to deal with, depending on all the rules that, yes. Friendship, no. And by the way, that's why, and to be for you, let me tell you something, glad tidings. I wish if this lecture in Arabic and you all understand Arabic. Ya Allah. No, because sometimes I have some certain terminology. It's very, very Jordanian slang terminology. I can't translate it even. Okay, anyway. I mean, one of my close friends, Da'iya in Jordan, he used to have a special terminology about a character from the male practicing brothers, which is al-lakhma. Lakhma. That's why I told you I can't translate it, okay? When we say lakhma ونحكي ملخوم, this is a very pure Jordanian act, but I will give you the spirit of it. You know, lakhma, it's used in a negative way to describe someone who's not able to manage his life. He's shy, in a shaky ground. He does not know how to handle his things in his life. You call it lakhma. So, look now, focus. The non-practicing Muslims, they make fun of the practicing Muslims with regard their relation with the females. They call them lakhma. Lakhma means what? Habibi, he can't deal with sisters. Ahbal, idiots. He does not know how to approach. He does not know how to put the introduction. He does not know. My friend used to give special lectures about this concept, lakhma. He said, I want to surprise you that whom you thought is lakhma, he's 10 times cleverer than you and he has 10 times tools better than you. But he will not use it except in a halal way. He's not lakhma. He's not idiot. But he will not spend this power except where? In the right place. Where is it? His wife. After marriage. He had the best character in sense of humor. He makes jokes. And he's more clever than them. But this is not for everyone. This is the beauty of Islam. You, for example, you control yourself, you control yourself. You have, yes, just in halal way. Once the door is closed, under the halal contract, enjoy your life. This is the beauty of Islam. We don't just keep spreading this everywhere. Why they don't enjoy their marriage? Because simply all the energy has been spent outside. They come home exhausted, both of them, he and she, or they. It depends, I don't know. Just to be fair, okay? Why? This is the beauty of Islam. Under this halal ceiling, enjoy. Outside, official. Yes, that's why we don't have friendships between males and females in Islam. We have respect, yes. We need to deal, yes. That's why I started with the rulings. وَلَا يَضْرِبْنَ بِأَرْجُلِهِنْ وَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ. Don't use the perfume. Don't try to use soft. Use simple. And I did not mention for both of them. قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Both of them, you have to lower your gaze. Okay, يعني for example, once, for example, أحكام, by the way, غض البصر or to lower your gaze basically is applicable on the same ruling that I said. Sometimes I put the example on myself. Some sister, they ask me, okay, how can we deal? I said, look, I'm as a university lecturer or professor. I need to speak with you as a sister, even if you are wearing the hijab. Okay, I finished speaking with you. Once your question is finished, I have no right to look at you. What? Yes. Yani if I finished the muhadara, خلاص, I am doing like this. You are leaving. If I started looking like this, I'm committing haram. Why? Where is the need? Where's the need? Yes, this is how. If you activated this high sensitive attitude of niyyah, غض البصر, way of talking, way of walking, using, when to interfere, why, all of these things, you will have the best, inshallah. Your life will be Islamic. Simply. Wallahu alam. Have I answered? Yeah. Many questions. Basically, they are listening to me from this one. From.
This one is just recording. From that one.
They are just listening. Where is the camera? Okay, this one. Okay, sorry. Okay. I thought they are listening to my online. That's why I said, okay. Okay.
Like not being seen as cold or rude and giving a bad image about Islam. And it could be with Muslims or it could be with non-Muslims that we interact with.
Okay, this is the idea. I mean, be more specific. Be more specific. I mean, what does the person mean by try not to be rude?
Like you limit, like, engage in small talk.
Brother, what is the purpose of explaining all of these rules? So that you decide, is there a need or not? Is there a necessity or not? So, but when you say there is no need, you decide. It's not me who decides.
You don't want to be seen as rude, especially for non-Muslims.
Allah, to be honest with you, I have to be just. I'm not expert in every single action you face in your daily life. Okay, I was not born in this country. I can. I lived 6 years in the UK and 1 year in the US, but at the end, maybe I'm not facing what you face. Because Some of you, maybe you have the co-ops, you go to companies, all of you are the only Muslim there. They know nothing about your religion. So sometimes you need to do ijtihad. You need to put some efforts. When to talk, what to do it in the minimum, in the best way, use the quality time, okay? But try, by the way, there is a wajib, there is a duty of being a da'i as well. They need to know Islam through you. Because, I mean, one of the disasters what we used to face from especially new Muslim reverts, some of them, they tell us, they say one of the disasters I used to face, for example, I became a Muslim because once one of them, for example, I said, okay, would you like to drink? He said, I do not. I said, all my Muslim friends, they drink. يعني اشمعنى انت يعني you know, never ever. And one of them, he said that I don't drink. They drink with him. طيب, a sister came with the hijab. She's a new employee. When she said, so I don't, with all due respect, but all other Muslims, they shake hands with me, for example. So they are confused. We make them confused sometimes. So I'm not saying go and hug all of them all the time, dance with them every day. No, but when you understand the general rules, do your best to do the best in what's available under you with your intention. So there is no one answer for all of you. It depends on your situation, your intention, the need. For example, if you are working in office work in a company that contains 1,000 workers and you work just paperwork, do you think what you face is like a doctor in the hospital, a Muslim? No, it's a huge difference. The physical interaction between a Muslim doctor and everyone else is 100 times than you. So what you might be facing is not like his. So his rulings will be different from yours. If you are a teacher in a public school, so I can't give one answer. I give the general rules. Within the rules, please try to adjust what suits you from the general rules. Wallahu alam. Yes.
So when meeting someone from the opposite gender for the purpose of marriage, is it mandatory to have someone there? If so, what types of people have to be there during the conversation?
If it's a public, يعني طبعا it's a public area, أكيد public place.
Does it have to be a public?
طبعا طبعا of course. If it's not a public area, it's a khalwa. We will go to something not allowed. Yes.
But assume it's a public space.
What type of people? Now, شوف, basically before we talk about the type of people, let's talk about the importance of that the wali is aware. Because Islamically speaking, and forget the exceptional cases, I'm talking about the norm now, okay? The normal cases, because we have exceptional cases. The normal cases, a sister should not sit with a brother with the intention of discussing the marriage in a public place before, especially if it is a pre-arranged meeting, okay? If it happened just out of, he's from another city, he's from another country, he surprised her, she thought that he said, Assalamu alaikum, sister, please, I don't know how to approach, I don't know anything, I want just to come to your parents, can you give me the telephone for your father? Okay, this is not but they decided to sit to discuss, so that she will think to speak with her parents. No, Islamically, to the best of my knowledge, no. So if the father, the wali, was aware, and the family discussed, for whatever reason, they said, for example, okay, it's already a public place, already they are studying together, already they see together, and they said, I want just to discuss just simple things, which is acceptable urfan, just before coming to you. It could be acceptable culture, no problem. No problem. As long as the permission is there, and they know it is restricted. And we take urf means the acceptable, okay, before he comes, he wants just to say a few things so as not to embarrass me or to embarrass my family. And I know as a father, okay. Public place, and I'm aware. You got my point? So that's because, I mean, protecting the reputation of the female in Islam is a high priority. It's a high priority. So no one can utter a single word about her reputation. The father, and by the way, and this is not the normal. I say if there is a need for that, for whatever reason, Normally, speak a telephone with the father, come to the house. If there is a justification, it could be acceptable as long as they all know. Wallahu alam. And by the way, when I speak exceptional cases, sometimes one of the best well-known exceptional cases, the new reverts. Oh, now she's a Muslim, but she does not have a Muslim family. Okay? No one is representing her aslan, yani. She's alone, completely. Sometimes, very, very exceptional cases, we have something in Islamic fiqh called عضل الولي or التعسف في استخدام الحق. تعسف, exceeding the limits in misusing your power. Could it happen with some fathers? Yes, طبعا. 1% maybe, 2%, some cultures 10%. The father is the reason of the problem. He's misusing the power, preventing her from everything, not allowing her or whatever. Sometimes maybe we give fatwa, exceptional cases. But this is exceptions, okay? Special fatwas. The normal, no. Allahu alam. خلاص؟ I prefer just one question. خلاص لأنه I feel very tired. خلاص.
There's questions about marriage and marriage-related questions. Inshallah, there's a lecture tomorrow about marriage, so they can be asked or addressed there. We got a few questions about غض البصر.
Yeah.
Some people saying, like, what if I'm walking or sitting in a class and I get distracted by someone who's dressed provocatively, like through my peripheral vision?
واتقوا الله ما استطعتم. Do your best. لاحظ Allah is the creator. He knows. When he said يغضوا what? He said يغضوا أبصارهم or يغضوا من أبصارهم. Those who understand Arabic. The Quran said what? يغضوا من أبصارهم. Not يغضوا أبصارهم. يغضوا أبصارهم means they are not allowed to go to hell. But it's impossible. I can't walk. Type. If I'm walking, I can see it's from here to there. Even if I'm walking here, for example, okay? فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم. Do you try to write as much as I can. Next time, try to replace your seat with someone else. Come late, come early. Do your best. This is called what? اجتهاد في الابتعاد عن الحرام. Put the highest effort and Allah will enable you to do it. Reduce. That's why قال غضوا من أبصارهم. Lower from you, because it's impossible to prevent your vision to see completely. It's impossible. That's why Allah Hakim and wise, He said min absarihim. The intention, the action, and the ijtihad all the time to reduce as much as I can. Wallahu alam. Plus غض البصر يعني for example, let's be now speaking about lectures like this. I have the option to come early to sit at the front, and I can come late, sit at the end, and see all the sisters. صح? True or false? I know if I came late, I will have just the last seat. If I come early, simply I will see just the doctor. So it will be an obligation on me ethically to do what? To come early. But Sheikh, I don't like to come early, which means you are not serious in fighting غض البصر. That's it. But I hate to take my breakfast very early. You have to change your style of life so as not to commit haram. This is part of seriousness in fulfilling my ethical duty in Islam. This is how the barakah will come. The support of Allah will come. You are doing your efforts. Wallahu alam. Finished? خلاص?
More questions. Alhamdulillah, the questions will keep coming. I think يعني
سامحوني because خلاص أنا
the guidelines and people could rewatch inshallah and write notes.
جزاك الله خير. بارك الله فيكم ويعطيكم ألف عافية والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام.